Oh man, should I start from best to worst? Well, not worst, but from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1, with one being the best when it comes to the best movies in my opinion of 2025. Now, this is my opinion, and I have not seen every movie that came out this year, but I've seen enough. After writing some stuff down, I've seen a lot of movies this year that came out this year. There's other movies I've seen that I've never seen before that I watched this year, but it never came out this year, so I'm not going to count that. There's a lot of movies I've seen this year. After looking back, I'm like, dang. Oh yeah, that came out in February. Like when you think about it, you're like, wait, what came out in January, February, March? I've seen a nice amount of movies. You know what? I'm gonna get it over with. I'm gonna go from 10 to 1. 1 being the best. The reason I'm wondering should I start from 1 down is because I ain't go to front. The first two that I mentioned, 10 and 9, might be very controversial here. But it is what it is. It's my opinion, and you don't have to agree. I'm really comfortable with 7 and up. That people are going to agree. But the first 3, no, I'm going to go from 10 and 1. This is my opinion. I don't want to lie, just make up something to make people happy. This is my top 10 movies of 2025. So this is going to be very interesting. I want to know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all top 10 is too. And I'll have a video tomorrow for the top 10 worst movies of 2025. I ain't going to front, y'all. That took a minute because there's a lot of them. I ain't going to front. It was a lot of stinkers this year. Anyway, we'll get to that for next video. Number 10. Oh man, people didn't like it. I enjoyed it because it did exactly what I expected. It just did what it was supposed to do. It was The Working Man with Jason Statham. If you see my recent reaction of his new movie that's coming out, I think it's January or February. On that video, I said, I'm very simple. Jason Statham, do exactly what he's been doing. Have a decent script, decent storyline. Don't have to be nothing amazing. I'm happy. And that's exactly what The Working Man did. Him rescuing his boss's daughter after she got kidnapped and doing it the Jason Statham way. Barely getting beat, doing great, martial arts, whatever you would call kung fu or whatever. The action was on point. He was cool. It did what it was supposed to do. I know people talking about range and all that. Every actor don't have to have crazy range. In my opinion, if you know what you're good at, you want to stick to it, let that be your career, I'm cool with that. I'm born in the 90s, but I love the 80s action and 90s movies. Lethal Weapon, Commando, True Lies, so on and so forth. That this is a treat for me because we don't get a lot of those kind of movies anymore. And The Working Man, I believe, filled that 80s, 90s action void. It has to be on the list. And honestly, if Jason Statham keeps this up, he's always going to be on the list for me. Number 9, I had to put 2 movies in. This was the only one on the list. I had to put 2 in it together because they both were Valentine's Day movies. And I couldn't decide which one. I was flipping back myself. Okay, this one. No, this one. No, this one. No, this one. And I was like, you know what? This will be the one on the list where I put 2 at one time. And it's Hard Eyes and Companion. These 2 movies came out on Valentine's Day. Let me get to Hard Eyes first. The reason I have Hard Eyes on this list is because the creators of this movie knew exactly which fan base they was here to please. The slasher, simple to the point storyline kind of folks. And to be real, it filled that. It did exactly what it knew. It was kind of like the Jason Statham thing where you know what you're here for. You're not here for anything crazy storyline or nothing like that. No, there's a killer on the loose. It just happens to be on Valentine's Day. We're going to have these 2 people who, by the way, had good chemistry from my remembrance. We're going to have them together being chased down and try to save each other from this individual. Survive the night. Who's the killer? You'll find out at the end. It was really that simple. But the execution of it, I believe, was really good. I remember coming out of that movie like, dang, this was really good. This was, it was in a way like a Valentine's Day Scream movie. In a way. And not fully, but if you haven't seen it, it's called Hard Eyes. Go check it out. It's very simple. The kills were satisfying for the bad guy. That's one thing with slashers. You're there seeing, okay, how's the killer in here? The killer was good. It wasn't nothing like, oh my goodness, mind-boggling. But in this era of movies that we're in, where there's some companies that overdo it or that's trying to prove a point, like make a point in their movie, some agenda, political agenda, whatever, or try to just overdo things, have actors, overdo their roles, so on and so forth. It feels good to see movies that know what they are and just stay simple that way. A lot of us are simple people when we go to the movies. We don't need something extraordinary with the script and plot and all that for us to enjoy. Not every time. And this one, just like the Jason Statham movie, I believe did that right. Now, Companion, that movie surprised me. I did not know it was the route it took was something I did not expect. I went in having in my own mind what this movie was going to be, and it derailed that, and it was done very well. It's a surprise. Like, if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. I never forget when I did a reaction to that movie, and you can see my old reactions. I was surprised by that. I was like, whoa, where's this movie going? And then I went to go see the movie, and then it exceeded that. And done very well. Great cast. Like I said, the execution and the surprise of what is going on in this movie was done very well. It was done very well. Good beginning, middle, and end. Companion, those two movies came out, Companion and Hard Eyes came out on Valentine's Day. And I must say, for February, that was a good month. That was a good month. I believe it was something else I saw, but I know those was the top. Companion and Hard Eyes. Now, number 8. This could or could not be controversial. It just depends on how you felt about the first one. But The Accountant 2. Personally, I like the first one better of The Accountant. But to see Ben Affleck and John Bertha back together and then working together was a treat for me. Their chemistry was really good. You only get a little bit of it in the first one. Very little. But you get it fleshed out here in a second. I think it did very well. The plot was good, but I don't remember the movie much for the plot. I know what it is, but that's not what made it memorable. What made it memorable was the chemistry between Ben Affleck and John Bertha. The action, it could have been more. That was one thing I did say. I was like, man, I wish it was more action to it. But overall, Ben Affleck and John Bertha carried this. I would like to see a third one. I just hope they add a little bit more, make it a little bit more intense, and and bring them two back together. But if this is it, I think it did its job. That's a movie I do want to add to my collection, Accountant 1 and 2. So yeah, them two together made it work. So anyway, moving on. Number 7. I was going back and forth with this one, putting 7 or 6. You'll see what my 6th one is in a minute. But Winners, I decided to put that at number 7. I did not see that coming. First, when you see the trailer, you just see these kids running out of the house, and the movie lets you know that something happened to these kids that ran out of the house, their houses late at night. So there's some kind of either kidnapping or a monster that took these kids, and is being blamed on this one teacher. That's all really the trailer shows. Then you watch the movie, and it's like, oh wow, this lady is weird. And not the lady that they were showing in the trailer. She just happened to be a victim in all this stuff. And which, by the way, that's also something else I want to give Winners a lot of credit for was I love how they showcase the different sides of certain characters in here. From that teacher side, who I was telling you was getting blamed. From, what's his name that plays Thanos? I'm always forgetting names. Josh Brolin. But they show his point of view. Like, they give you different people's point of views before giving the last, the last execution of the film. And I thought they did that very well. And then the execution of it, and I must say, this had one of the most satisfying villain deaths. I ain't gonna say in movie history, that's exaggerated, but of 2025. The way it was handled, I do not want to spoil it because I ain't gonna that was one of the biggest highlights of that movie was, I just realized I don't have that light on. Anyway, there we go. I was like, something looks weird on this camera. But yeah, it had one of the most satisfying deaths of a villain of 2025. It was something I've never seen before. I was like, it was genius, though, if you thought about it. Like, I'm not going to spoil it. That is one of the best parts, if not the best part of the movie. You have to check it out for yourself. They made memes of it on, like, social media and stuff, but definitely go check the movie out. Weapons, number 7, really good. It's actually added to my movie collection. Now, number 6 is Sinners. Personally, I didn't like it as much as a lot of people did. A lot of people put it as one of the best movies of the year. Excuse me. I wouldn't put it that far, but my wife and I went to go see it. We highly enjoyed it. the chemistry between Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan was done very well. Overall, Michael Jordan did a great job. He played two characters very well. He played twins, and yeah, I had to tip the hat to him for his acting. How should I say it? His acting skills are getting better and better every movie I see of him, and that's a compliment. Because he's always been good, but it's definitely like now seeing how he portrayed both characters was done very well. This showcasing his range. But Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler together, I don't think. No, it hasn't been one movie of theirs that's I haven't liked, and this one was very original. The way they showcased the vampire here. What's her name? Haley. Yeah, Haley Steinfeld. Her performance was done well. Everybody did a great job, but the storyline was very original. I never seen something like that. And the way they was talking about music, there was this one scene where it was in a club, and the way they were showcasing the history of music, I thought was done beautifully. But then the horror aspect, it wasn't for me scary, like I was sitting there in the corner, like jump scare, but it still was done well with the attacks of the vampires. Man, to come to think of it, now I'm replaying the movie in my head. Would you consider this a horror? Just because it got vampires don't mean it's a horror. I think it was just maybe it was, I don't know. Let me know in the comments, would you even consider this a horror movie? Because yes, it had vampires and them attacking, but let me ask y'all a question. If it naturally has a vampire in a movie as a villain, do we have to categorize it a horror? That's a good question. I don't know, let me know. But overall, the movie, regardless of you think it's a horror or not, was done very well. Had a really good closing ending to this movie. Like, it was interesting when they were showing, I don't know if I want to spoil it. I'll put it this way, but there was an ending with Michael B. Jordan and Haley meeting a family member of Michael B. Jordan. So I'll just keep it like that. And that scene with them was done very well. Very well. And also, I want to give credit because I haven't seen him. Let me give him credit because I haven't seen him in a lot of films. But I hope the best for his career in acting because I thought he did a great job. Miles Canton, that's his name. I thought he, I don't say he stood out away from everybody, but he definitely held his own as an actor in the scenes he was in. So shout out to everybody though in the movie. I thought that was done very well. I wouldn't say it was the best movie of the year, but yeah, I get why people are saying it is. All right, moving on. Now this one might be controversial. It's number 5. It ain't for me. It did what it was supposed to do and some. I believe it suffered from the Hollywood propaganda of promoting women at the cost of trashing men. I think this movie suffered from that. This movie I'm talking about is Ballerina, from the John Wick franchise. I think it suffered from that. A lot of people which I understand. Wow, look at that sunset. Y'all see my skin? Anyway, that's cool. Anyway, Ballerina suffered from that and I understand. Hollywood's been having this weird thing of let's promote women by trashing men. We have, and then not give the lady characters in certain movies like the recent Star Wars one, the Rey Skywalker treatment, where she gets no real character build up, no character flaws, nothing. She just is perfect, almost perfect character, and we're going to trash all the other characters for her uplifting. That's not what this movie was. And I understand, that's why, because a lot of people were saying that. That's why I've been told right to my face. I'm not going to see a movie where they disrespect John Wick for the cost of lifting a new character up. It was not like that at all. It was not. As a matter of fact, man, that sun is big. That looked very nice. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted from it. But as a matter of fact, they give a lot of respect to John Wick. And they have a scene where this character, who, by the way, I think, how you say her name? Anna? I'll just say Anna. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. But the main character, they give a scene between her and Keanu Reeves where they let you know as the viewer that, no, she is not here to take his place in a disrespectful way. She is beneath him. This ain't no male or female nonsense. I understand that Hollywood was been pushing that male and female versus thing, which I don't understand. Just how about y'all both succeed? You don't have to trash one. But they did not do this here. This was from beginning to end a crazy thrill ride, and in the process giving respect to John Wick. Like I said, there's a scene between them where they let you know, no, John Wick is the Baba Yaga. He is the boogeyman. She comes in this franchise fresh. And what's one thing that I do give this movie credit for is what they should have done with Rey Skywalker in Star Wars was show her beginning stages, failing, learning, growing, and getting better in time. But when you meet someone that's been in the game for a while, like John Wick, you're going to lose. And you're going to lose embarrassingly. John Wick embarrassed her. But in a respectful, he was like, look, this is, there's levels to this. And I'm glad the movie did that. And one thing the movie also did, in case you haven't seen the movie, was they have this training scene with her, the main character, where her teacher, who was also a female, was like, look, let me keep it real with you. Head up, you're not going to beat a man. You're 110 pounds or something like that. That dude, because it was a training session where she was fighting against this man and she kept losing. Her trainer was like, you're not going to win straight up. You have to be clever. You have to cheat. This is the art of war. Like in a life and death situation, it ain't about fighting fair. You got to get out of the situation. So you're not going to win straight up. Be clever with it. And I'm glad. She told her, you're not going to win that. That man is a lot stronger than you. Be clever with it. So I wish a lot of people gave this movie a chance because this movie should have succeeded with the box office. I know I heard it broke even or something like that. It should have done way better with the John Wick title, but I understand people's caution. I'm cautious with some things. This was one, though, that I wish people was not cautious on and just watched it because it did what I believe Hollywood should start doing with movies, is being more respectful to the stuff that came before it and stop having this, how should I put it? I'll put Rey Skywalker aspect to it because I hated how they did that. As a person who loves Star Wars, I hated the last trilogy because they was trashing what was to uplift what they want. They gave no character build up. You know, you got to build the character, especially with 3 movies. Ballerina did in 1 movie what Star Wars should have did in 3. You know, but no, definitely go check it out. The action was good. They opened up strong. There was a scene with the main character as a child. Her daddy was protecting her. That scene had you going. It was like, dang, here we go. And it kept going from then on. You know, the scenes with Keanu Reeves, perfect. It was really good. It was believable. You know, I hope we get more movies of her. I hope this failure of exceeding the box office doesn't stop this franchise. I want to see her because she did very well, the actress in this whole movie. I hope they continue it. Please go see Ballerina. I know it's in DVD now. I got it in my collection. Go see it. If you like John Wick, if you like action movies, this is one of them that you should give it a chance. Ignore the Hollywood propaganda. I think Hollywood is starting to learn that all that is not working. All these agendas they try to push, all these, you know, let's lift the ladies up by trashing men is not going to work. It's nothing wrong with lifting the ladies up. But you don't have to trash other people to do it. You know what I'm saying? And this movie did not do that. They kept it real, you know, and yeah, they gave respect. So anyway, Ballerina is number 5 because that was a really good movie. I just watched it again. Really good movie. Really good. Anyway, moving on. Number 4 is F1. F1 surprised the heck out of me. Actually, no, yeah, it did surprise the heck out of me. I was about to say I went in this movie not knowing what to expect, and I didn't because I've never been into anything F1. Not that I was running away from it, I just was never introduced to that kind of world. So I didn't know what to expect when it came to that, but it did surprise me how much I enjoyed it. Learning stuff about the F1 community, you know, getting into the races. Like, I don't really watch racing movies like that. Like sports in general, not just movies, but just the sport in general. I've never really watched NASCAR, F1. That just was never my thing. After seeing this movie, I got interested. And just learning the behind the scenes of like what happens with the racers and their life. Brad Pitt did amazing. What's my man's name from Snowfall? I forgot his name, but they're saying he might be the next Black Panther. But those two together had great chemistry. Everybody did a good job in this movie. But the spectacle, how they did you really feel like Top Gun Maverick in this movie. Like, you could tell, like, the scenery of how he did it remind you of Top Gun Maverick, but it was in an F1 type of setting. And I thought it was done very well with the file. It felt like you was there. There's one thing that I wish people didn't see it. I wish they had was they get that theater experience. It is a DVD movie. Like, don't get me wrong. You can enjoy it watching it in your home. But that one is definitely a theater experience. The way they did those races, but the plot was done well. It had an ending too that was different, and I really liked it with Brad Pitt's character. It was done very well. He was there to help and to move on, but the way they did it was interesting. I was like, it is a movie where they could make another one. Honestly, though, if they just stopped there, I think it is done perfectly. Yes, we can figure out what's more with Brad Pitt's character. Nah, like we get it. It was one of the movies where it's like, nah, we get it. We don't need nothing else. F1 did what it was supposed to do. Let's move on. And so, yeah, I came out very satisfied. I even told my wife, because she was out of town when I saw that movie, and she went to go see it, and she was like, man, that was really good. Well, like I said, we don't know anything about that community, but movie, script, spectacle, everything, really good. Now, number 3. With this one, I'm going into the TV realm. I haven't watched a lot of TV this year. Dragon Ball Daima and It Welcome to Derry was the only thing new that came out this year that I watched. And that's what's number 3. Is It Welcome to Derry. Bro, I am so glad I listened. I am so glad I listened to go check out that show, because I wasn't. I was going to wait and hear what other people thought, because I was battling in my head, okay, is this going to be a cash grab? You know what I mean when I say that Hollywood just throws something out and we get the Joker 2, for example. And it wasn't that at all. It started off strong from that first episode. That first episode will always be, I'll always remember that feeling when I first saw that. I was like, and I did a whole run through. I did reviews of every episode. If you want to check it out, I got I did the whole It from chapter 1, episode 1 to 8. I did a review on it, but you can see my thoughts there. But man, Bill Skarsgård needs an award. He had me put Pennywise at one of the top, like in one of the top positions. Bill Skarsgård did his thing on there. I said it before in the video. I said I haven't had a feeling like this about an actor stealing the show as great as he did since Heath Ledger in Joker with The Dark Knight. Like, I put Heath Ledger's Joker and Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise will always be remembered. 10, 20, 30 years from now, I will always remember his performance there. And to hear that they're making more seasons, I am looking forward to it. Bill Skarsgård, keep up the good work, bro. Yeah, but Bill Skarsgård's performance, but on top of that, the plot, man, dude. Anyway, I'll move on because I can go on. I did a whole reviews on that. You can see it for yourself. Now, number 2. These next 2 movies are these next 2 movies, number 2 and 1, took me by surprise because I never heard of them. Someone told me about it, and I was like, what is that? And that's how I'm like, It. I've heard about it. I just didn't want to see it. These next 2, I've never heard about. I didn't know there was a movie of this number 2, which is Demon Slayer. And never, like I said, never heard of it. Someone told me, you need to give Demon Slayer a shot. And I'm like, I mean, I've been told to give a lot of animes a shot. And some I give and some I'm still has on my list to check out. He was like, no. Bump them other ones. Check this one out. Actually, start with this movie. You might not understand a few things, but you'll catch on. You've been watching TV and movies for a long time. You'll catch on. I went, got a ticket by myself, went to go see it, and bro, oh my goodness, bro. This movie had everything. Like, this made me want to know more about the Demon Slayer franchise. Oh my goodness. I thank homie for telling me about this, bro. Demon Slayer, the action, spectacle, the stories. This movie, and I'm gonna tell you, it's long and it's full of backstories. But that was great for me. I don't know how other people felt about it, but that was great for me as someone who didn't know these characters at all. Like, they were saying the names, I'm like, you know. But to learn more about these stories, even the demons that they was fighting, I was like, and there was this one guy, he has this position, he's like this. I'll put the picture up. Bro, that storyline, actually was a few storylines on here that was like, man, it got you here, you know. But then to see this action, to see that these demons are not playing, like, this is one guy who's smiling the whole time, having a good time, you know, talking about, come join me, come join me. And this dude was scary. It's like, and it wasn't even meant for him to be a horror character, but just his attitude, you're going to be a part of me, you know, just so nice. As he's trying to kill, like, it was like, bro, it was like these 2 ladies was fighting him. And I was like, How you gonna beat this guy? You know, but the whole movie, oh my goodness, dude. Fantastic. Not one flaw. It's a long movie, but I already said I like long movies as long as it's done well. This movie was done well. And for someone like me who's new to the franchise, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're like me, you don't know anything about Demon Slayer, this movie is good. I still don't know everything fully, but it's good enough to make you know what's going on. This movie with the writing, the drama, the stakes. Oh my goodness. There was this one scene with Payback. With the backstory, I'm like, dang, bro, they did that very well. Demon Slayer is up there. I'm waiting for this thing to get on 4K or Blu-ray. I want on 4K because the graphics on this is really good. The best animated film I've seen this year. This animation was top tier. This was definitely a year for me of trying new things. Not just with movies, but things in general. Like, I don't really put people in my personal life, but there's some things in my life that I've done that's new, that even some today I did. Y'all, I'm drifting away, but there was something new I did today. And, you know, I'm glad I do stuff like that because I learn a lot of gems. I find a lot of gems out there. And it's funny because people are like, of course, how do you not know that? I'm like, I only got 24 hours of the day, and after work and all this other stuff, you know, I don't put time for something to do, but I'm glad I'm starting to do that. I started this year. And I'm going to start doing that more. Demon Slayer, yeah. And that goes into number one. Because number one, it was tough. I was trying to debate, was it this or Demon Slayer? Because you saw how much praise I gave Demon Slayer. I have the same amount of praise. Well, a little bit more on this number one. But the storyline's the same. I did not know what this is about. Actually, I did a movie reaction to it. I did not know. I was like, Jackie Chan, let's check this out. And that trailer got me interested. I was like, first off, shout out to Jackie Chan because he still got it. The movie's called The Shadow's Edge. Excuse me, sorry. But yeah, The Shadow's Edge, starring Jackie Chan. And I was already surprised seeing Jackie still, you know, at his age. I'm like, of all the injuries that I've known him, like I grew up with Jackie Chan. And for him to still do what he does now at his age is commendable. But let's get to the movie. Bro. They start off with this heist. The style of that heist was like, wow. Then the plot with this, the bad guy, the storyline with this bad guy played by, let me give him credit, played by Tony Lang. Sorry if I said the name wrong. Was intense, bro. Tony Lang as a villain was terrifying. Because him as a villain, like Jackie Chan's the cop, working with other people in the department trying to catch these thieves. But these thieves are ran by Tony Lang. And Tony Lang, bro, was terrified. I just said that, but I had to say it again. He is a perfectionist. Like, he was looking for every little mistake. Just him going grocery shopping to see if anybody was acting different. Because maybe somebody's watching him to try to catch him in the act. But his perfection in it and his little nuggets to see if somebody was a cop, I should say, was done very well. And it was intense because not only was he observing that, but he's a professional killer. Professional. The stuff he was doing, I was like, dang, this dude. And then he was like, I guess he was up there at the age too with Jackie Chan and stuff he was doing to these people. I was like, oh, he is not to be messed with. So his professional self going up against a police department where the only professional is Jackie Chan was terrified because these other people, they wouldn't be able to handle him. And for him to be around them, it felt like a horror movie without it being a horror movie. There was this one scene with this rookie cop, this lady that was, I think her name was Zhang. I'll just say Zhang. There's a scene between her and him, and they were stuck together. But she was being a normal civilian, and he was around being a normal civilian too. And she's a cop. She knows who he is. She's watching him. But he's like, all right, is this innocent young lady? Is she innocent, or is she a cop out here trying to get me? And that whole scene was gripping, bro. And then Jackie realized that she is in over her head, so he tried to, save. So he's being a professional. So it was these three people in a room together, while Jackie and the girls acting like a normal citizen. He's being a normal citizen, but in the back of all three of their heads, they're waiting for a mistake. But if they make a mistake, the cops, he's about to do something crazy because he's that dangerous. It was the way they did that was perfect. I can go all day about it. You can see my review on it. But the way they did that, it was a very intense movie. You talk about intense. This was intense. It was enjoyable from beginning to end. The action done very well. But to be real, you're not there for the action. You're there for the thrill ride of, is he going to get caught, and if he does, what's about to happen. It was a lot of moments of not exaggerate, there's a lot of moments of what's about to happen. You sitting there with your eyes open like, it was a lot of that. Yes, the action is there and it's really good. Do not get it twisted. The action is definitely top tier. But to be real, the number one thing that I got from it was the feeling of, and for it not to be a horror movie. They did that very well. So yeah, Shadow's Edge, 10 out of 10. Demon Slayer, 10 out of 10. Those are the only, and It, Chapter, It, Welcome to Derry are 10 out of 10. All three of those are 10 out of 10 movies. There was just some things in Demon Slayer that I liked better than It. There were some things, just very few things that I like in Shadow's Edge better than Demon Slayer. So while all three of them are 10 out of 10, there were some things in the 2 and 1 that I like better than the other one. So yeah, definitely, it was a good year. I'm very happy I explored different things because I wouldn't have never seen Shadow's Edge or Demon Slayer. And sometimes it's good to get out of your comfort zone and try some different things. And I'm glad because these two would have never been on my radar if I didn't. And that's how I'm feeling with video games. Y'all see my reaction. I'm reacting to all these different game studios and different games I've never heard of before. Because there's gems out there. You got to try it. But yeah, let me know what y'all top 10 is. I'll definitely work on the top 10 worst. And yeah, that list, I got to break it down. There's a lot of them. I got to break that down. But yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm looking forward to 2026. Got a lot of great things coming up. Yeah, so anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let me know your top 10. You can tell me in the comments, and I'll see you later.